We have the mass media society here, and we have the internet society here. How are they radically different? They're radically different in every aspect. We used to produce money from industry. Factories today are located in Bangladesh and southern China and hardly anywhere else. That means they're probably not very important anymore for the economy. The economy has moved on to media. Everything is media today, and most of the value in anything you buy today is in media. If you pay two euros for a bottle of mineral water, the water is probably going to be worth 3 cents at the most. The rest is just going to be media value. So the economy has moved on to media by now. Let's see. It's a short one. We used to live in cities. We used to have cards with postal addresses on them. These days, we don't need cards. We just need to pick up our names, and then we can find each other on Facebook or Twitter, and we're connected. Because we live online today. 5 years ago, you would still pick up your cell phone and you would go, you know what, this is really funny, but I'm actually on vacation in Bali, in Indonesia. Isn't it ironic we can talk to each other in real time? And these days, if you tell that to somebody, they just go, I don't care where the fuck you are. I'm just care if you're close to your cell phone or not. Because geography is now reduced to the human body and the cell phone and how far they are from each other. That's what geography is. We moved on to cyberspace. We live there. We move there. We build our identities there. If you're gonna try to get a job or get an investor to your startup, the first thing to do is to go to your Facebook page, and if it looks the slightest bit sloppy, they cut you off. Because that is your presentation to every other human being on the planet. That's where they go to find out who you are. In my case, it's the Wikipedia entry, probably. So, this world used to run on money. It was all about capital. It was all about whoever owns the most money when he dies is the winner. That has now become irrelevant. Because the new world is operating according to the principle of attention. Attention is awareness times credibility, reputation. That's a multiplying relationship. You can read more about it in the Futurica trilogy if you like. Principally speaking, it's this. Awareness is, do people know that you exist? If they don't know that you exist, they're never going to find you anyway. You're just going to be somewhere in the haystack, and they're never going to find you as their needle. People have to know that you exist. So creating an awareness, making people aware that you exist is one part of attention. The other part of attention is that when they find out that you exist, they have to be attracted to you. They have to find you credible. They have to think of you as a serious person or a serious company that can deliver something they really, really need and really want. That's credibility. If you don't have one of the two, you're out. The internet is all about the combination of awareness and credibility. And please note, there's not a single dollar sign in here because we're now moving towards society with zero cost. Everything now is about your ideas. It doesn't cost you a penny to open a Facebook page. It doesn't cost you a penny to develop an idea. Other people might throw money after you thinking they can make money out of your idea, but it's no longer of interest here. It's not the primary interest anymore. We moved from the countryside to the city. Now we move from the city to cyberspace. And with that, we move from capital as the driving force to attention as the driving force. And everything now is about people having attention, connecting with other people who have attention. Networks that have attention connecting with other networks that have attention. When Facebook and Spotify decided to do their thing together in America, I knew Spotify was going to beat iTunes in no time at all. And that's exactly what happened. A week later, 4 million Americans are paying for Spotify subscriptions. Because Spotify and Facebook, two really strong attentional brands, connect with each other. It didn't cost them 1 penny to do it. They just realized that if they connected with each other and connected the two brands to each other, that both had attention, they would both be winners and they would gain even more. That is an attentional economy. It's not a money economy at all. Venture capitalists are at the back row of this economy. They're what you need the least. This creates a new power structure. We'll have a bourgeoisie, and we had workers before, you know, like Marx said in the 1800s. Today we have netocrats, and we have consumptarians. There's no digital divide. The divide is in the digital world. We're all online. Everybody's online in the world. People in India and Kenya and Brazil, everybody's online. It's online that the division exists. And it's the division between netocrats and consumptarians. And consumptarians are basically 35-year-old men in Germany who live in the German countryside still with their mother. They're overweight. They don't have a proper education. They can't get a job. They vote for some far-right party. And they only watch porn when they go online because they don't have any friends on Facebook because nobody wants to be friends with them. That's the new underclass. not the immigrants who live in the suburbs of Berlin, because they all work in startups. They're winners. They're winners. If you live in Berlin, you're a winner. But my God, if you're stuck in Thüringen, you might be in for some trouble. That's the consumptarians. They're online, but all they do in porn stuff and play some stupid games sometimes. They're not connecting. They're not being socially intelligent. They're not interactive. They're not producing what they're involved with, which is what interactive people do. So, what we're looking at now is a whole new basis for identity. It used to be the nation state. How many people in this room are willing to live and die for Germany? For Germany, yeah. Not a single one. In 1915, you would have thrown up your arms, you walked straight onto the battlefield, you all died, happily. Because that's where identity comes from. Identity is a very, very, very strong thing. Today, the nation is dead. It doesn't generate any interest. There are no websites for Germany.com. People couldn't care less. They might care about Berlin because they love Berghain, but they don't care about Germany anymore. What they do care about now is subcultures. Subcultures is the sociological term. We can call it communities. We can call it networks. I call it tribes. The internet is best described, the internet society is best described as the golden age of sects and cults in a globalized empire. We should look to the Roman Empire for inspiration of what kind of world we're living in today. Because we're living in a globalized economy, and with America and China being closely interdependent of each other today, that means it's a global empire where nobody can go outside of the empire, not even Greece. They'll be reminded very soon they can't leave this empire. We're all inside this empire, but in this empire, in the virtual world, we are creating cults and sects. Some of them are nice and fun ones, and some of them are really evil ones, like Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is as much an internet phenomenon as Facebook or Google. We have to realize that. We have let a hydra out of the bottle, and now we have to deal with this hydra, and we have no idea what it's doing to us. It is fucking us up. The internet is a monster, and it's eating us alive, and it doesn't care what we think, and we can't stop it. Because if you put an interactive mobile phone into the hands of a Korean schoolgirl, she will never go back to her old Nokia again, ever. That's how addicted we are now. We can't leave the fucking net. It's grabbed us inside our heads. It's a damn drug, and we're on it, everyone. So it's taken over us for good and bad. That's where we're at. That's where we have to start. So when you're thinking of your little startup and you're going to find your venture capital money, it's inside this system you have to be. Otherwise, you're out of it. Okay? Am I out of time now?